Bovis, host of Digging In. In this episode,
we're exploring the question of bringing locally, sustainably grown food to the restaurant setting.
I invited Chef David Gaspar de Alba of Radish and Rye to visit Silverleaf Farms. Their greenhouse features hydroponic irrigation, including ponds, which only require 1 gallon of water to produce a head of lettuce, which is a fraction of what it takes out in a field. It also houses bee boxes and insects that prey on pests, eliminating the need for chemical pesticides. We enjoyed the bounty of our farm visit back at the restaurant and discussed the farmer to chef to diner relationship.
Throw some salt, throw pepper, throw a little lemon on it, and keep it as simple as possible, really. So,
when you're buying locally from small farmers, does that become a challenge when we're talking about pricing for a restaurant? Is it more expensive to do it that way?
Or if I were to buy from California or go from a larger company, I need to get a full case. You know, and every time the top's ruined, the bottom's ruined, it's been thrown around, not respected. You know, and half the time you can't even go through the full case before it starts to oxidize or just, lose its life. When you're dealing with farm to table, farm to chef, you get it day of, you could sell through it, get two deliveries a week, 3 deliveries a week, and just make sure you're getting the freshest product.
We're selling direct, so we don't have to go through a middleman. So that extra margin that the middleman takes, we can take. And so as a result, the food is not as expensive as one might think it is.
Since we can get the full cost of what we're selling, we can pay a living wage. That's probably the most immediate effect. And then of course, having all this local and fresh produce around, I think just encourages as much the next generation. There's kids learning about school gardens in a way that hasn't happened since maybe the 1940s. So we're also kind of cultivating the next generation that does expect to eat fresh food.
Even if you're buying a certified organic from, South Mexico, it's still the carbon footprint like you're talking about. You still have to drive it all that way,
Right.
So how is it dealing with chefs?
I think sometimes there's a bit of a disconnect between the idea of eating seasonally and then what that really means.
Because you're educating the chef on what's grown seasonally, what grows better down here, what the soil tolerates,
And then the next step in that conversation is then the chef is educating their guests at the restaurant, really, by what's being offered on the menu.
Hopefully, guests will just be like, I don't want to eat your Brussels sprouts in June, I want some peppers coming in, I want some tomatoes,
And we're really lucky in Santa Fe because so much of our culture is about embracing the earth and nature, to be thinking about less of a carbon footprint, to be thinking about the relationship with the food and the love that's coming from both the side of the farmers and the side of the chef.
And it starts from the soil up, so that's the best part about it.
The succession of people who touch each part of a diner's experience is what makes a meal great. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please share it on your social media.
See you next time on Digging In, a recipe for sustainability.